Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland, and in this video I'm going to explore how President Trump has plumbed new depths yesterday. So he had a meeting with various lawmakers, and he said that the United States should stop accepting people from shithole countries. Now, this wasn't filmed, but it was reported by several witnesses who were there, and it certainly chimes with Trump's usual behaviour. So it's very easy to believe he said this. The White House has not disputed that those were his actual words. It was an egregiously insulting thing to say, and he was alluding to Haiti and several African countries. Others, I think it was El Salvador too. So it fits a pattern of him being very conceited and very disparaging towards other countries. The president is America's chief diplomat. He represents the country abroad. The United States is judged by him and his words, and that obviously increases anti-American feeling around the world. It's an incredibly bigoted thing to say, and the United States used to welcome people from all over the world who are coming to the United States to make a better life, but not now. And if somebody came from a richer country, well, why would they want to move to the United States? People tend to come from countries which are not as wealthy as the USA when they're moving there. So perhaps it shouldn't have surprised me that he was just so staggeringly stupid and offensive. The United States needs the help of other countries on issues like Jerusalem and the UN. Bear in mind that China holds a lot of sway in Africa, and this will simply drive more African countries into China's orbit when the President of America is so insulting to African nations. Trump also said that all Haitians have AIDS, which is blatantly untrue. Now, it is the case that AIDS is a significant problem in Haiti, but people who suffer from any illness deserve compassion. People in Haiti who've got this disease should get antiretrovirals. They shouldn't be disparaged. Now, AIDS can be contracted in a number of means, including sexually, but even if someone catches that way, that doesn't reflect badly on that person at all. One shouldn't be judgmental about these things. And then he made comments about Norway, saying he would like more immigrants from Norway to come. Now, Norway has got about the highest standard of living in the world. It's got high wages, free university education up to PhD level. It's got publicly funded healthcare. It's got a very clean environment, very low crime, and all that. I wonder why almost no Norwegians want to move to the United States. So I think Trump, if he had any sense, he would take a leaf out of Norway's book, but he doesn't have any sense. And Trump has also, on a whim, it appears, cancelled his visit to the United Kingdom in February to open the embassy. This is not something to be done lightly. If he's been invited and he has accepted, then it is the height of bad manners to capriciously decide he's not going to come, send somebody else instead. So much for the special relationship. So he's like a bull in a china shop. He's extraordinarily stupid and very insulting towards other countries, including the UK, which is a fairly important one for America. So what's he going to be like about countries he doesn't consider to be terribly important? Now, as one White House staffer said, that what Trump said about various countries will strike a chord with his core voters, and that's probably true. Is there method to his madness? I don't know. I'm a xenophile, so I'm upset to see this big country chauvinism by Trump. So he may yet deny that he called places shithole countries, but how could anyone trust a word he said when he's a man who has told thousands of provable lies on record as president? Now, Trump did not invent deceiving the public. What distinguishes Donald J. Trump is the frequency and the scale of his lies, just how utterly blatant they are. He unblushingly tells fallacies which he knows can be proven to be true. Look out for the tales of lying with him. He's canny enough not to rub his nose right after a lie, because a bit of blood goes to the nose when people lie. The nose swells by a millimeter, begins to itch. People sometimes rub their mouth right after a lie, as though they're trying to wipe it away or look away. But what he does is he blinks immediately after telling the lie. Now, everybody blinks because we need to replenish the moisture on our eyes. but it's the frequency and the timing of the blinking that indicates that he knows he is telling a falsehood. So that's Trump, and I think we haven't seen the worst. This may not hurt him, actually, amongst the sort of bigot who likes Trump. They just may be reassured. Perhaps he feels he has to shore up his support because he's letting them down by talking about perhaps compromising on the dreamers. That he doesn't look like he's going to get his border wall built, and certainly not to get Mexico to pay for it. It makes me think about his path to re-election. He was statesmanlike in his meeting with Dianne Feinstein and others a few days ago. Would this be a way to get him re-elected? Perhaps not. That's not his unique brand, and that may disappoint some of those who were so enthused by him in 2016. There is a way for him to be re-elected, I suppose. Much though I revile him, I recognise his defeat is by no means a foregone conclusion. The economy is going fairly well. He could play that card for what it's worth. He may yet start a war right before the election, because that would lead to an uptick in support for him. So, with Trump, there was nothing too foul for him to do. We could expect him to do the very worst, and for entirely dishonourable purposes.